Alrighty, welcome to Fantasy Lunch Bunch. It is episode 6, I believe. Wrapping up the Super Bowl. We're a week behind, so we apologize about that. We are talking really quickly about the game. It was very cool. It was Super Bowl 50, the Carolina Panthers versus the Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
We had Lady Gaga singing the national anthem.
That was nice to not see her.
I thought it was
Lady
Hunger
Gaga.
Games.
You thought
Did
it was
you?
the Hunger Games?
That was the
because
halftime show.
she was about to say Primrose Everdeen. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I think I texted everybody that.
Lady Gaga killed it. Actually,
Yeah,
that was pretty good. Yeah, I thought that was pretty good. So going into that, Lady Gaga kicked it off, but then the Broncos kicked off the game with the first quarter drive. They got the ball first, going down the field 64 yards.
Yeah, I was going to say, they did
Getting
okay.
onto the board right away, which is what you want to do against the Carolina Panthers, with Brandon McManus on a 34-yard field goal, which was good. The key play of the drive was the 22-yard catch by Caldwell on third down to keep the drive alive. So big thing there. And then the Broncos go to add to their lead with a big sack from Von Miller.
That was great. That was
Big play of the game, which was
that.
recovered in the end zone by Malik Jackson. So put Denver up 10-0 right away, which I think really shocked the Panthers and Panthers fans.
Definitely made them second guess
And pretty much everybody watching the game. I mean, everybody knew it was two great teams going against each other, a great offense going against the number one defense in the league. So we expected Cam to have some pressure, but not in the first possession. Not
seriously.
to get sacked and lose the ball in the end zone and be down 10 points right away. So definitely very big, and the score was 10-0 after the end of the first quarter. So Panthers did answer with a 73-yard touchdown drive with a 1-yard touchdown from Jonathan Stewart.
Did a little hopscotch.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right. Yeah, he did a little thing to get in that end zone. He
Definitely
really
a good drive. 1-yard gain. I mean, it looked like a 10-yard run after he was done. Got the work in and got past the line. Good for 6. So all day long. Later in the quarter, a 60-yard punt return by Jordan Norwood. Longest punt return in Super Bowl history.
Yep,
Correct.
I saw that.
Correct.
61 yards. Set Denver up for another field goal. And then the 13-7 lead. So Denver just...
It sounded like the Panthers defense was doing their job.
They
They're
absolutely
doing
were.
the best of their ability.
Yep, and special teams and some really big defensive plays are what kind of carried Denver into this. Because if you look at the offensive stats, I mean, C.J. Anderson was one of the top performers with 70 yards, I believe, with his touchdown. And other than that, I mean, Manning, 175 yards, -1, I think, 174 yards. No touchdown, didn't throw... Did he throw an interception?
He threw an interception.
Yeah, he had one interception.
Yep.
That's right.
Yep.
One pick, no touchdowns. So just like Cam Newton with his one interception. But the big thing was the Denver Broncos defense, man. They kept wheeling and dealing against the Panthers, and they just couldn't get anything going.
Cam Newton looked really tired after about halfway through that second quarter. He was man, I'm getting beat up.
Tired of getting hit.
Right?
Every
Tired of
play.
getting hit.
Tired of all that pressure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Just tired of
because he throughout the whole the regular season, he had just as much time to throw the ball as any other quarterback. But when you play against the Denver Broncos, that clock in your head, it's got to shorten up. And
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when you got Von Miller and Ware coming down your throat, you're definitely going to have to get rid of the ball a lot faster. And, I mean, to Carolina's credit as well, there was 6 total sacks from both teams in the first half, and 3 combined turnovers between both teams. So both teams were definitely playing some solid defense. It was just that offense that couldn't get rolling on a lot of the plays for Carolina. The 74-yard drive was the longest drive of the night for them. At halftime, Denver led 13-7. And then we got to watch Beyonce and Coldplay.
Yep.
And Bruno
Bruno
Mars
killing it.
brought the Uptown Funk.
Yeah, he did.
You know, and you can talk about the controversy with Beyonce and Coldplay, and here's what I would say is that is censorship at its finest, as you can't do anything that's not approved by older people. And man, holy cow, could we get on a different soapbox topic than the NFL with this conversation.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah, Beyonce is one of arguably one of the most talented performers in the world right now.
Yeah,
And
I can believe that.
Bring back Destiny's Child.
bring back Destiny's Child. You know, and it goes back to like Eminem and things like that when he rapped and his lyrics were questioned. NWA, if you've seen Straight Outta Compton, that's a huge movie about all of that. I mean, Who cares? Every single person that watched the halftime had the simple ability to press their thumb to the remote and change the channel.
Oh yeah.
If they thought it was inappropriate, Janet Jackson was able to show her boobs, but and that was huge. What's that? Accidentally. Yeah.
Wardrobe malfunction.
Wardrobe malfunction. Justin Timberlake, my boy, pulled off her top.
Yeah, doing it right.
But it's just silly that gets more controversy than the Super Bowl.
That's very true, actually.
So we live in the halftime where, as we looked it up, and before halftime was played by the marching bands in colleges.
Before what did we say?
Before
1990.
1990 when
90.
Roger Goodell.
Paul Tagliabue.
Before the year after he took over, halftime changed at the Super Bowl. So I mean, it's silly to think that this 1 hour of entertainment is looked at more than the entire game at the end of the day. I mean, it's silly. So minus that, it was a good halftime show. I thought it was cool.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I don't know why we had Coldplay as the
headliner.
It's funny, they announced Coldplay as the headliner, and then they're like, and we're going to have Lady Gaga as well sing the national anthem. And we're going to get Beyonce and Bruno Mars
Gotta make
to play
everyone
with
happy.
them.
It really saved it. Really saved it.
Okay. So that was halftime. It was long. It was boring, just like all the halftimes are at the Super Bowl, when we're just ready for the game to start again. In the third quarter, the Broncos scored first. In the second half, they had a 54-yard drive that ended with another field goal from McManus, which put them up 16-7. And that's kind of the biggest highlight of the third quarter as they went into the fourth quarter at that score. So 16-7.
Right.
Panthers clawed back a little bit with a field goal drive on their own, pulling to within one score with about 10:21 remaining in the game. But then Newton fumbled with 4:16 remaining, which is definitely a controversial play, as we were talking earlier. Dan and J-String were definitely talking about that play.
Oh, gosh. I was upset.
So he lost it, but he didn't want to get it back.
Apparently not. He had every fucking opportunity to be the first person on the... I'm upset. He had every opportunity to be the first person on the ball. And he just did like a little foot thing, like he tried to nudge it with his foot. I seen that. I don't know if he thinks people didn't see. I fucking seen it. Okay.
Now we have to add explicit to our podcast.
Yeah, we do.
Yep.
No,
Thanks a lot.
and that's the thing. I mean, they're down 10-16 at this point, so they're
They have
only
a
down
chance.
a
You
score.
recover that ball.
Yeah.
You got to do everything. It's the Super Bowl,
I could
nonetheless.
see early quarters, maybe even third quarter. You need to beat the whole game, but
Yeah,
I mean, at that
seriously.
point, probably lay out.
Yeah, I mean,
you get hurt.
You
what do
sacrifice
do?
your body,
Yeah, seriously.
you know.
You get hurt. Your team at least
Last
has
It's
game
the
of the year,
Super
can't
Bowl.
throw anything back. Yeah.
exactly.
I'm going
Yep.
to throw a wrench in it real quick. I was just watching it right now.
Yeah.
And it does look like DeMarcus Ware gets his hand out just before Newton would be able to lay on it. So Newton actually, his foot thing was him trying to kick it away from DeMarcus Ware's hand. Is what it looks like to me.
But he still needs to dive in there and land on his hand, you know?
Oh, yeah.
DeMarcus Ware has one
scary.
hand on it compared
Yeah,
to a
that's
body.
true.
Oh,
That's
absolutely.
true.
Rule number one is you fall on a fumble.
Yeah, regardless
Run
of
away from
yeah,
Mark
that's-
Square.
yep.
Oh, yeah.
And so big play. It pretty much was the
That was that capped it off.
the nail in the coffin because that put Denver in short field position, and then they scored a touchdown
I think they capped
and
on
the
that.
2-point conversion right
Yeah.
after as well, which ended up being the final score of 24-10.
So earlier, last time we had a podcast on episode 5, we all said Carolina would get 28 points, and they would have literally had to have gotten 28 points, 4 touchdowns would have did it, but they didn't do it. So that's why I did call 28-24 though. So Denver got the correct points for me. But
The other side.
But most importantly,
Not so
I
much.
chose Denver to win, and that's what
that's true.
happened.
Congratulations.
One-time
Yep.
Turner.
It's funny, I'm looking it up, and Denver was betting on how long Lady Gaga would sing the national anthem.
Oh yeah.
Over
Nice.
2 minutes and 20 seconds or under 2 minutes and 20 seconds, which was actually the winner. Under 2 minutes and 20 seconds.
Yeah,
So,
she really. I feel like she
random
blew through it a little
prop
bit.
bet from Vegas that just shows how
Prop bets
much.
are great.
Yeah.
How much betting goes on. How many times will dab or dabbing be said by announcers during broadcast? Over 2 or under 2?
Was it
I'd
at
take
2?
the over.
I feel like it was at 2.
Gotta be over.
Or is 3?
It actually doesn't say, which is weird.
No.
I know they got at least 2 because I heard about this project, but I don't know if they got over it.
It says,
happens sometimes.
what color will Beyonce's footwear be when she comes on stage for the halftime show?
Well, I hope it was
Leopard.
black.
Black,
Oh.
gold or brown, white, silver or gray, any
Oh.
other color. Black was the winner.
I was like,
Nice.
I'm feeling.
So
she's
for
like
all
a
the
black
ladies
man.
out there thinking that you can only bet on football,
no,
get pretty
not
crazy
at all.
in Vegas
The
here.
Super Bowl
Yeah.
is good for a lot of other things.
Oh yeah, you can bet
I'm
on
sure
just
there were
about
some
anything.
Super Bowl commercial bets.
here was the other
too.
bet. Here's how crazy people are. Will the Panthers player who scores the first touchdown give a football to a boy or a girl? People bet more that it'd be a boy over a girl by 50 votes. So
I believe it.
yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
So
That's
definitely a
Probably
good
more
game.
boys at the game.
Yeah,
I don't know.
absolutely.
Maybe not.
So they were a 5.5 favorite, according to OddsShark. In the game, the Panthers were. The Broncos made that not true. They
yeah, very much
basically
not true.
held Cam Newton in check. Peyton Manning did a great job handing the ball off, getting some.
Fantastic job handing the ball.
You know, that's probably the thing you could say is he's definitely going out, but he's not going out on like a career game or anything. But he's going out as a winner, which
He's
is
going,
great.
yeah,
And
exactly.
Peyton Manning's a winner, and he's a
He's got
winner in
that
all of
ring.
our eyes, and
He
I'm
won
happy
the
for
game.
him. He won the
The
game.
game.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the
He
game
did
of
his
life.
job to win the
Peyton
game.
Manning's the
Oh,
winner
yeah.
in the game of life, and I'm happy, and that would bring up our next conversation: is does he stay in the NFL next year, or does he retire? The
Oh.
Broncos have already said that they are not going to force Peyton Manning into making a decision until March 8th. That is so.
No
by
hurry.
then, he needs to make a
but
decision to
less
let
than a month.
let the
but no
Broncos
hurry.
know if Osweiler is the future of the Broncos or if Peyton Manning will take the reins for one more year and try to lead
'Cause
them
you
to
know what?
another Super Bowl.
I think Osweiler is actually his last contract year was this past one, so they'd have to know if they need it, like if they want to re-up it for a certain amount of years or
Exactly.
what they got to do. I
exactly
remembered
it,
that
yep.
just now all of a sudden.
Yep.
And I would assume it's.
Yep.
I remember that all of a sudden. And, it came to me.
I sound smart.
And that's the thing is, I think the Broncos are just doing it out of respect to Manning. You know, hey, we don't expect you to make a decision right away, but we are going to need a decision made. And I think the decision is going to be retirement. I would imagine.
I think.
Stretch.
I feel like everyone else is gonna say he's gonna retire, so I'm gonna go devil's advocate.
Oh.
I'm gonna say
Quit stealing from my
he's
book.
going another year. Although
You think so?
that's, I mean, my brain says no, but my heart says yes.
But my body's telling me yes.
It's all, dude. Every time we bet hard, we've all like really come out on top here.
You
so
know, yeah. The
gotta remember that.
So, do you want to see Manning next year then? So, if you're coming from the heart, so
Can I say I don't want to? I don't think he should come back. Like he was good at handing off the ball, but
think of all the ridicule he faced this year. I mean,
it was a lot.
they won games because of their defense, and I mean,
Yeah,
literally on
and he
Sports
hands off
Center
the
and
ball
everything,
for
they would say
136 yards.
they're not winning games because of Peyton Manning. I mean, there's obvious factors that his arm's weaker. He's not the quarterback that he was 4 years ago. So he faced it all year, and I mean, it never really got better.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
offense got better a little bit, and he
Yeah,
was able to
they
make some
helped him out a
plays.
little
And
bit.
The running games picked
And
up.
yeah,
and
yeah.
running
that
game
was
AJ
AJ
what
Anderson
happened
was
with
able
the
to pick it up,
offense.
and yes, and everybody's not relying on Manning to throw the ball every time. So,
Mm-hmm.
is he able to be the playmaker that Osweiler will be next year?
For what I saw from Osweiler, I wasn't overly impressed. They still did get some stuff done. He's obviously got the higher upside where Peyton Manning's gonna just keep dropping in his playmaking abilities.
Right.
So I think if you're the Broncos, obviously you want Osweiler to be the starter.
Yeah.
Now, you got to worry about, does Osweiler want to stick around with the Broncos, test free agency maybe, and then what do you do? Is Manning going to stick around, or you draft a new guy and start fresh?
Yeah, and we always bring it up, and it's almost like the the Favre and Rodgers scenario,
Right.
but just for the Denver Broncos. I mean, you have a young, upcoming quarterback who's ready to start. He's proved that he can start and win a game.
Yeah.
And you've got the veteran who is always going to come in and do well. What do you do this next year? So it'll definitely be a big decision for Manning. Obviously, as the Broncos said, it's his decision to make. But man, holy cow, the entire franchise rests.
There's
on
risk.
Yeah.
No matter what you do.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh yeah.
it's like you're Jerry Jones saying, "We'll just give Tony Romo one more year."
I'm pretty sure you said that for the past
One
3
time.
One more year. We're just gonna give Romo one more year.
Well, if we could get a nice
One more
like,
year to
kid
show
to like
Johnny
learn
football.
under Romo
I just
for a
had
couple
to.
years.
I just
Eggs
had
and
to say
baskets,
that.
yeah.
I just had to say that for
We-
Jacob
Yeah, all the eggs in
and
the
Dan.
basket. And Dan.
Mhm.
So another few things that we can talk to. So that was the Super Bowl, guys, and congratulations to Peyton Manning, his second Super Bowl ring.
Yep,
Correct.
that's a second.
So,
Yep.
Definitely do yourself a favor and check out the Jimmy Fallon video of the interview with Peyton Manning talking about Eli Manning's.
The Eli look.
Yeah, the
Eli
Eli look.
look.
It is so funny. I think the guy is just like, oh man, my brother won another Super Bowl. Damn him.
Tied that Super Bowl
Yeah,
total.
oh man, so funny, so funny. Give yourself a chance to watch that. It's really
That
fun.
it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I watched it a few times.
Congratulations, Peyton Manning, Cam Newton. You're gonna. This won't.
You'll
be
be fine.
This won't be your first Super
No,
Bowl.
you'll be fine.
You'll be there
You got
again.
more chances in the future.
6 years playing. He's got multiple years ahead of him.
Oh yeah.
I don't hold it against him for his press conference. I mean, he lost the biggest game of his career. Who doesn't go into a press conference a little bent out of shape? And
Oh yeah.
the guy's criticized whether they win or lose. So I'm sure that's frustrating all on its own. And I mean, to be called the names that he is on Twitter and all of these things, I mean, enough's enough. And we need to respect the guy for the talent that he is and
Oh, yeah.
the player that he's become in the NFL and the overall status symbol in the NFL that he's become. I mean, a lot of people know that name, and it's sad to think that he can go 15-1 and we criticize every little thing that he does. So I think we just need to give him a break. I think he's going to come back next year and be ready to go just like he was. And I think the Carolina Panthers are going to be a good team again next year. So I definitely don't hold his interview against him. You know, I mean, who cares? You lost a game.
It's already in the past.
Yeah, the past is
Yep.
the past.
Yep.
So
Time to start working towards the future.
absolutely. So moving forward from the Super Bowl, we've got a few big things coming up. The Combine,
Yeah.
which is in 2 weeks, February 23rd, I believe, till about the end of February, almost into March. Adidas is going to give away $1 million to the fastest 40 time in the Combine if it beats the current record of Chris Johnson at 4.24 seconds in the 40, which I'm pretty sure is like as fast as turning on the light switch and your light turning on.
And it's like,
Chris Johnson,
Chris.
holy cow. And he's still doing it. You know, he got injured last year, but older guy holds the record for the 40-yard dash and has. There was a gentleman last year. He won $100,000 from Adidas, and I'm sorry that I'm blanking on the name, but he missed it. He was 4.27 seconds, so 3/100ths of a second from beating Chris Johnson's record.
Ouch.
And Adidas gave him $100,000 because of that, and $1 million this year if anybody beats that record. So pretty big. They're looking for another Usain Bolt kind of
Yeah.
represent Adidas, I guess. So big with the Combine. It's going to be big to see who's going to be the latest and greatest for the new upcoming season. I know a lot of teams like the Cowboys and
Always. Like
Browns
Cowboys.
and things like that will be looking at the draft this year and or the Combine this year to really look to improve the future of their team. Vikings won't need too much just because they're looking
No,
pretty darn good. No, in
I
all
was gonna say they're
seriousness,
young. They're gonna get older, and
absolutely.
they're gonna get more experience.
So definitely check out the Combine. A few things for fantasy football. LaShawn McCoy is definitely dealing with some big impacts that would impact the season next year. He was involved in a aggravated assault in Philadelphia, I believe, with 2 off-duty cops that he basically beat the shit out of with 3 of his friends over a champagne bottle.
Lovely.
So, the warrants are looking to be made, and people are pretty pissed off about this situation. And definitely stay tuned because that's going to impact if any keeper leagues. If you had LaShawn McCoy,
Oh yeah, that's
for
right.
next
yeah,
year.
sucks.
And
which
definite
But,
draft
man.
stock as well.
yeah, definitely draft
Yeah.
stock. If he's not playing, I mean, the Bills are going to need a new running back, and
Yep.
Sean McCoy's draft definitely went down after this. And again, he carries that bad boy attitude from Philly to Buffalo. So again, being a headache for a lot of fantasy owners and if not franchise owners for the Buffalo Bills. So, LaShawn McCoy, keep in touch with us on that, and we'll continue to let you know how that goes. Also, Calvin Johnson is still in debate about retirement for next year.
Yeah.
Another big guy for fantasy football who might not be seeing snaps. Another guy who announced was Beast Mode. Marshawn Lynch.
Marshawn Lynch, that's right.
Yep, Beast Mode
Forgot
is looking
about
at
that.
hanging up the cleats. And after this season and a Super Bowl win the season before that, I could see it.
He's
Yeah,
all around
it's
this year.
understandable.
He's in and out.
Yep,
Yeah.
in and out. Not a good year this year.
Mr. Rawls is looking good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
absolutely.
just gonna
The
say that the way
backup
Thomas
is
Rawls
yep.
played,
I
they
think-
might be ready to move on
Yep.
anyway.
And there's no question. I mean, Marshawn Lynch earned the name Beast Mode from us and definitely amazed us. But injuries and the abdomen injury and things like that kind of just sidelined him. And the Seahawks showed that they were okay without that. And even when he
Yeah.
was in, he wasn't making a huge impact. I want to say, I mean,
Well, I think I saw a stat where their offense was actually less productive with Lynch in the lineup this season.
and
than
I could see
without
that.
him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people who picked him first round in their fantasy football league were very
First overall.
Yeah,
Oh,
first.
Because
yeah.
I didn't show up to the draft.
Oh, okay.
Woo!
Not my fault.
So Mike was given Marshawn Lynch, but I know he was taken in our league 4th or 5th, and there were high expectations that he did not meet for the Seahawks, and they went to prove that they were okay without that. So
Yep.
it'll definitely be probably a March's decision, just like Peyton Manning, and probably for Calvin Johnson as well. So we might no longer have to say beast mode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no
And
more
another-
interviews about just not getting fined. and
Yeah.
Yeah.
only being places to so he doesn't get
Or
fined.
that
and-
one at his
Just here, so I
locker
don't
where
get
he
fined.
just kept saying, yeah.
Mhm.
Whatever
Yeah.
he did
Yeah.
that time, yeah.
Where's my Skittles?
Yeah.
I'll
So
just read the ball.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Pete Carroll's trying to explain the play. I'll just read it, Coach. So the Seahawks might be saying goodbye to Marshawn Lynch. Johnny Manziel, definitely a big question for next year, and apparently his 24th birthday, from what his dad said.
He's an animal.
He's an
Party
animal, party animal. Yep,
Party
absolutely.
animal.
His own dad said he doesn't think he will see his 24th birthday if he does not seek out help.
Bold
Yep.
statement.
Yep.
Hmm.
Even
Oh, yeah.
Brandon Marshall, an advocate for mental illness and brain disorders and things, said, I think you need to get out of the game and go take care of yourself.
Oh, yeah.
There's no question that this guy is an amazing athlete, but there's also no question that he's not okay up in the head at this point. And I don't know why he is allowed to do this, but he needs to take care of himself, and I don't think he will be, well, I know he won't be with the Browns next year, but I don't think he should be in the NFL. He was talked about being maybe the Cowboys' next go-to quarterback.
Please no.
Yeah, he's a Cowboys fan. You know, and
Football.
yeah,
It's okay.
and that maybe is another story for later of what the NFL and being successful at a young age can do to you mentally. But there's no question that he's not right. He can't do the things that are asked of him by the NFL, and he just needs to step down and take care of himself. I mean, the NFL says, hey, Johnny, maybe your girlfriend's not the right move. No, that's okay, guys. I'm just going to go beat the shit out of her and
and then
and get all
she'll just
drunk
keep
and
quiet.
tell you I'm going to kill you and kill myself and all these things. So there's no question that there's a disconnection there. He needs to take care of himself. I don't think Johnny Manziel will be in the NFL next year. If he is, he won't be starting for a team. And if he
Oh,
is,
yeah,
That's
that's
the
It's
one
not.
to him.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Other than that, Matt Forte as well.
Yes.
Chicago Bears
Yeah.
are really looking at their rookie
Jeremy Langford. I
Langford,
think,
thank you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Michigan State.
Who tore it up when Forte was out and injured, and Forte is obviously a little butthurt.
Yeah.
A little tight butthole.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That he's actually gone to Twitter and said that the Bears won't sign him next year for free agency. So big thing would be who needs a good running back if he's healthy.
Yeah,
And
seriously.
How old's Forte? 33?
Yeah. Sounds right.
He's on the downhill climb of,
of course.
age groups for running back, but
You know,
there's
if
no
you
question of his skill and
If
his
you need 3 years, then
yeah, man,
Could be
absolutely.
a nice change of
You know,
pace.
LaShawn McCoy leaves the Bills because he gets arrested. I can see him
I see
backfilling
a
that
slot
slot.
opening.
Oh,
Yep,
yeah.
absolutely. And as a free agent, you don't have to pay him the big bucks that he was paid before as a young gun
Right,
running
get
back.
the
So
value.
get the value. I feel like Matt Forte will have no problem finding a team, but I think it'll be really big for fantasy football to see what team he lands on.
Yeah,
because
I
if he
agree.
lands in the wrong scheme, don't choose him.
Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
Oh, yeah.
So
You definitely want to look for him to go to a team that likes to throw it to their running backs. He's always
Absolutely.
been known for his
yep,
receiving
he can get
abilities out of the
open. Yep,
backfield.
he's fast. He's got hands, and that's a bad combination for running backs against defense. Yeah, if you can run and gun, you're in good shape, and Matt Forte can. So I don't think he'll have a problem finding a team. I think it's going to be the offensive scheme that determines his fantasy draft output for the year 2016. So
Yep.
those are probably the biggest stories for fantasy football going forward. We'll definitely have more updates as the season continues on. Let it be known that the NFL never sleeps, and there's always stories, as LaShawn McCoy makes that aware for us.
Oh yeah.
Keep in touch. Thanks for joining in, guys. Fantasy Lunch Bunch, Episode 6. You just got to watch Madden, Mike, and myself playing in some playoffs. Check out our 40-yard dash for the Combine special episode that we are going to do.
Oh yeah.
baby.
We do it
We are
again?
going to put a
Yeah.
poll on Facebook. Who is the fastest Lunch Bunch member in the 40-yard dash?
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. We're all pretty
The odds
athletic.
are high on JT. I'm just
We're all
saying.
pretty athletic. Stretch is pretty tall.
And I stretch.
Stretch played
And
Mike
soccer.
Mike's a runner. I'm also tall and I used to run, but I have a messed up ankle, guys. So I don't know if that wants you.
Jacob's
to
ankles
lean
are
to it.
made of
Mike is a runner.
toothpicks.
Yeah, they are, dude. I'm gonna start running though.
Snap!
I'm gonna start running next week though. I'm gonna see how it feels.
And I don't have any stats or anything. I just sit around and
run.
watch football.
I
I've
was
watched
gonna-
people
I
run
was saying,
fast, so I bet you I
maybe
can
bet
do it.
against
You learn
JT.
technique.
That's right. So check us out, guys. Thanks again. Check out our sponsor, Johnny Rage Life at RageLifeFamily.com. He apologizes for the delay in the clothing line, but it will be up very, very shortly. His webpage is very cool. It has multiple artists in Des Moines, Iowa for DJs, trap, electro, whatever you want. It's on there.
Nice.
Check it out. Thanks again, guys. And we'll talk to you later.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Totally.
Peace out.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Catch you later.
Totally.